Hey there, my name is Dreeke, and so let's answer some questions about sizing people up. Let's see, first question. Most people are curious about the FBI and its work. Please introduce yourself and share with us your work experience in the FBI. So, my name is Dreeke, and I'm the retired chief of the FBI Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. And so basically my job for over the course of my entire career before I retired was recruiting spies. And you'd think that was a job that's full of subterfuge and deception and manipulation, but when you're actually in the business of selling the hardest product in the world, and that's patriotism, you actually have to engender true, great trust. So all I ever did every day running my team was strategize engagements with other human beings and strategizing trust, because you cannot get people to cooperate, you cannot inspire people to share information or put their lives on the line for you without trust. Matter of fact, relating this to the world of sales is very simple, especially in the finance industry or anything where people are putting their entire lives and entire companies in the hands of someone else, because when you do that, you are literally doing the same thing as recruiting a spy, in the sense of they're putting their lives in your hands and they're trusting you not to get them or their families compromised and killed. Let's see. Second, before sizing people up, your other book, Code of Trust, was published in Taiwan. What are some major differences between them? So all my books I've done are a progression. It's a progression from one point to the next, and because life is a journey, not a destination. So the Code of Trust is all about the 5 steps I can take strategically with myself to ensure that I can modify my behaviors to have you inspired to want to trust me. So I had the 5 techniques that I utilize for inspiring trust in others. And so what I realized, though, is over the course of my career in doing this and working with the Code of Trust, was that it forced me to focus on other people so much that I could literally get to the point where I could predict what they're going to do. Because human beings, we're genetically encoded to do all the same things, and that is, we will always act in our own best interest in terms of our own safety, security, and prosperity. What I learned from the Code of Trust was, if I focused on you strong enough to figure out what you thought that was, I can now predict what you're going to do. So that's what inspired Sizing People Up, was predictable behavior. If I look at these signs of predictable behavior, I can reasonably predict what you're going to do. And it's not really predicting trust, although trust comes into it. But a lot of times people, broad stroke trust as trust you or don't trust you. In Sizing People Up, what I do is I talk about these different lanes that I can trust you to do this, but maybe not to do this. And what it's really about, and the difference from the Code of Trust is about the behaviors I have to do to inspire trust. Sizing People Up is about understanding others and their behaviors at a much deeper level, so I can understand them deeper, have a good, healthy professional relationship, and reasonably predict what they're going to do in every situation. Because if I can reasonably predict what they're going to do, I won't be setting myself up for disappointment, and if I can do that, I can have a good, healthy, strong relationship with you, and also predict what you can do in different situations. Briefly share with us the 6 signs of behavior prediction mentioned in the book, how these principles help me. So 6 signs. Sign 1 is vesting. Vesting is, does this person see their future tied with yours, and do they see their success tied with yours? How it helped me in my career and life. And even recently, in this last year during COVID, I am constantly looking for and assessing when someone's communicating with me and in their words, deeds, and actions, are they actually demonstrating that they see our paths tied together, and are they unconditionally vested in my success? So when I get an email or a solicitation from someone that says, hey, I would love to support your work with X, Y, and Z, and I think it ties nicely in with mine, that's a good sign of vesting right there. In the FBI, when I first reported to a squad, did the supervisor of the squad say, hey, Robin, we see you going far in the squad, why don't we send you some training to get X, Y, and Z? Do they see that your success is tied to their success and promotion, so they're going to give you opportunities because they see your opportunities tied to theirs? In my first confidential source I operated, the book, his name is Leo. Leo saw our paths tied together. He knew he wanted to help save America from nefarious individuals, and he knew the best way to do that was for my success, because if I had success, my bosses would allow me to do things, which would allow him to do things. So that's vesting. The second one is longevity. Do they see this relationship as long-term? Signs of longevity are really simple. You know, do they give you projects that are going to span months to years? Are they giving you training that will take you into the next quarter and quarters beyond that? When I worked in New York, you know, the bosses I've worked for, they asked me what my plan was a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know, and so all those types of questions and actions demonstrate longevity. After longevity, we have reliability, and reliability is nothing more than a combination of someone's competence. In other words, can they say and do what they say they can do? And do they actually have the diligence and the fortitude to follow through on it? So whatever's on their resume says they can do what they do, and do they actually have the fortitude and resiliency to do those things? Next one is actions. Best thing I love about actions, and I have all these behavioral tells for each one of these signs, but actions is really past patterns of key behaviors. If I see and observe you doing something once, twice, or 3 times a certain way, the likelihood of you doing it 4, 5, and 6 times the same way is pretty dang high. So actions is very predictable, and I'm also looking for positive signs. Are you the type of person that says positive things about individuals or negative things about individuals? Do you always look for people's strengths, or do you always look for their weaknesses? I love giving myself the positive confirmation bias, where I'm always going to seek out and uncover your true strengths and greatness, no matter where they may lie. Next is language, and language is great because these are the 4 things you need to make sure you include to demonstrate that you value someone and you want to affiliate with them, which again, we're genetically and biologically coded to want to belong to meaningful groups or organizations, and we want to be valued by the same. And in order to do that, we have to do these 4 things. We have to seek the thoughts and opinions of others instead of giving our own. We have to validate them without judging them. We have to talk in terms of their priorities instead of sharing ours. And we give them choices, because when you do one of those 4 things in everything you say and do, you're satisfying what every human being is seeking and craving, and that is we're always going to act in our own best interest of safety, security, prosperity, and a sense of control. And so the conversation shifts from us to them when we're doing those 4 things. So that sign where I'm looking for language is the individual I'm engaging with using that same language with me. And this is one that you can assess really rapidly as well. That's why it's, when you couple signs of vesting, when you link that with language, and now what I'm now looking for a speed read is, do I have nonverbal congruence? Are they giving me good open nonverbal accommodation, things like eyebrow elevation, smiling, palms up, ventral displays? When they're doing all these things, they're using those great language words, and they're demonstrating vesting in me, you can assess that pretty rapidly. And I have made some great partnerships this past year doing quick signs via Zoom calls, all those things. And the final sign that we're looking at is stability, emotional stability. How much does this person maintain great emotional stability during times of stress? Do they maintain good cognitive thought, or do they kind of fall apart at the wheels? So I'm looking for emotional signs of stability to maintain great cognitive thought. So those are the 6 signs. 4, in the digital world, is it possible to verify yet also falsify almost everything? What are some new challenges regarding trust in today's society? I'd say the greatest challenge in trust in today's society is, one, it's very untrusting because media and social media is using a lot of their platforms in order to appeal to emotional impulses of people so they can sell ad space. Because when we have an emotional impulse, in other words, we're no longer emotionally stable, we're going to gravitate towards something, and that sells ad space. So that's also one challenge of trust. And I know that probably during the year of COVID here, when everyone's doing a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of virtual learning and virtual meetings, that you think you can't trust people because you don't have that one-on-one interpersonal connection. But in reality, you still can. And you still can because you're going to look for the language of vesting, you're going to look for signs of longevity, you're going to look for that language, and you're going to look for, on a Zoom call you can do it too, that nonverbal congruence. You know, when you can combine that with signs of reliability, that they actually have the skills to follow through on what they say, they meet deadlines, and so they have the tenacity and energy to follow through on it, you can still do it. So my default with everyone I'm interacting with is trust. My default is understanding that you're going to act in your best interest. And if I offer you resources in terms of your best interest, we're going to have a partnership, because why wouldn't you? Because it's in your best interest to. And so when you do this, and here's the key, I love that I'm always testing with others, and I'm demonstrating myself, is transparency. Because if you are trying to hide anything, you're trying to have a sense of subterfuge or deception in any way, you're going to sense a sense of attempted manipulation. And if anyone comes close to sensing manipulation, everything's off. Nothing works. And so I am fully transparent, open, honest, and as easy as communicative as I can be. What are some of the most important teachings that you wish the readers can learn from Sizing People Up? That everyone is working on something. We're all insecure about something. Stop focusing on the negative, focus on the positive. And that if you look at the 6 signs of sizing people up, you're going to understand people at a very deep level. Now here's what's really great about it. These 6 signs of predictable behavior in others, these are the 6 things you should be demonstrating to others as well so they can trust you. So when you're both demonstrating the 6 signs of sizing people up, you're going to have a great, healthy relationship. Because here's the key in life right now. Genuineness is gold. People are looking for genuine. Once you're genuine, we start moving on to trust. With trust, you have relationships. With relationships, you have partnerships. Because no one can do anything alone. None of the greatest things that have ever been accomplished in this world and on this planet have ever happened alone. They've happened with partnerships and people. And when you're that individual who knows how to do that together through understanding the behavior of others, you will have a great, prosperous future. So there you go. Again, my name is Robin Dreeke, former chief of the FBI Behavioral Analysis Program and CEO of People Formula. Please check me out, enjoy the book, and reach out anytime.